Is customization killing your conversions? That seems kind of weird, but we've actually seen this quite a bit. Maybe you're someone who is working in ads, or maybe you're the measurement person. Either way, you might be setting something up for one platform and then set something up for another platform and then realize one of the platforms is not recognizing your signals and it's actually causing a lot of havoc and confusion and what is going on. And it turns out you accidentally customize something that the platform doesn't recognize, and it's killing your conversions because it's saying, I don't know, something happened. So let's figure out how we can fix that. I have a bunch of little free things to show you how to find this information on the internet yourself. We're going to teach you how to fish. And then I have a resource that I'm going to give to you that shows you how to compare and make this a lot easier for yourself so you don't accidentally do this. So, but first, we're going to make sure that we understand what the heck we're talking about. Remember, we're talking about clean data, and clean data is where you collect, label, enhance, assemble, and narrate. To break it down a little bit farther, collect is where you map out what data is going where and how it gets there. And then label is define behaviors and conversions that matter. Enhance is where you're going to enrich, protect, and connect data to be more useful. That means we're going to level up whatever it is that we're already collecting and labeling. Then assemble is where you combine your data into easy to understand dashboards. This is what I like to visualize as you have a puzzle piece. That's where we normally build our dashboards. We have one single puzzle piece, and maybe that's one platform. But then you need to have your all of your platforms, all of your different ad platforms, your CRM, the cart, everything in one dashboard to truly understand the big picture, start to finish, what is happening. And then finally, we narrate. We take that data and we turn it into next steps and actions to be able to go through and understand what is happening and be able to take action on that data to improve whatever it is that we're trying to improve. But how does that relate to what we're talking about? Well, we're going to focus on this label piece where we're going to define behaviors and conversions that matter. How does that talk about how's that for this question, is customization killing your conversions? Well, customizations and conversions and all that stuff have to do with the way we label. And so we're going to break down the definition of labeling. And remember, labeling is behaviors and conversions that matter. Well, behaviors are anything that the user does, anything. And so, I gave examples here about a page you click, scroll, opt in, watch a video, add to cart, remove from cart, time. So time on a page is a behavior. Are they on there for 2 seconds, 200 seconds? There's all kinds of different behaviors. Technically, hovering as well. So if I'm hovering on this word behaviors, and depending on the platform, you're going to be able to know, is the element visible? That's another behavior. Did they scroll far enough to see this? Or did they see this element for 5 seconds versus did they, were they scrolling super fast and they didn't see it for that long? Did this load? Did the button pop? I mean, I can go on and on and on. Behaviors are anything that the user does. However, what matters is the important part. So, what you can take action on. Does it really matter that the user saw 10%, 12, 20%, whatever it is? Possibly it really depends. Does it matter that the user clicked on that? Maybe, possibly. It all depends on, are you going to be able to take action on that? So that's where we're going to focus on, make sure that we're going to label what we're actually able to take action on. So let's go ahead and go back to our question. Is customization killing your conversions? This is where we're going to tie this into our label, and we're going to come into a handy dandy little tool here. So I'm actually going to start over here in our Googly Google document here. So this is one of the Google support documents, and all of the platforms have these things called automatically collected events. I just wanted to show you that there is this thing called automatically collected events that we really don't get to mess with unless you're doing some customization. You want to make sure that they're coming through in the correct way and stuff like that. Like for GA4, it's like page underscore view. Other platforms, it's a slightly different format, and whatnot. So most of us aren't going to mess with automatically collected events, but the word that we're most likely going to be messing with are the recommended events. And so we'll see that throughout the different platforms. And then the custom events are the things that basically it's not automatically going to be recognized. I mean, you shouldn't use the word automatic. Custom events is basically it's not an automatic event, it's not a recommended event. It is something outside of that. So then it becomes custom. That's a better way of saying it. So your recommended events for GA4, we're going to take a look at a couple of these that are probably very common to accidentally mess up. So purchase is one of those. So very, very common. We see this all the time. So purchase in GA4 is a little p purchase. Back in the day in Universal Analytics, it was something different. I forgot. I honestly don't even remember off the top of my head. I think it's like transaction complete or something like that, completely different from purchase. And so there was very common people were sending through the other event. So it was coming through as a custom event, but then GA4 wasn't recognizing it as a purchase. And then so they had their Google ads tied into the ecom, the GA4, and there's looking for a purchase, but it wasn't happening. And so it was just all this hot mess of that their ads weren't being optimized and the ads were really going poo-poo because they were looking for this purchase thingy thing and it wasn't there for them. And so they accidentally customized their GA4 e-commerce, and that wasn't what they needed to do. So make sure that you use little p purchase for GA4. And I'm going to click on this and it's going to bring up some more data that is really important to make sure that we do as well. Because majority of the platforms, if you are sending through e-commerce data, it is going to require other bits and pieces to go with it. And those bits and pieces have to be in certain formats, so a string versus a number and all that other things. GA4 is extremely picky that if it doesn't come through with the right pieces and the right type of value, it will not recognize it. It will basically kind of throw it out. It'll say, like, hey, I saw this event called purchase, but it didn't have the pieces I need. So I am not recognizing it as an e-commerce event. I have no idea. So again, you're accidentally customizing it, and Google Ads isn't going to see this the way it needs to see it. Facebook and all these other platforms are the same way. GA4 is just really, really picky about it. So just be careful, make sure you have everything that you need. There's lots of documentation out there. If you're wondering how I got here, I literally just typed in GA4 events. I went to look for a support doc and found that one. You can also type in GA4 e-commerce events and you get a slightly different developer doc that comes here. And you could say, hey, I'm going to be doing this in Tag Manager, not a G tag. Get away. Then you could say, hey, I'm going to make a purchase. All the things here. You can see all that stuff. By the way, this is actually something, it's not new anymore, but if you set up your G4 e-commerce like years ago, you might not have known this trick that eventually they added this little checkbox, like send the data, e-commerce data with the data layer. And then most of the carts now, like WooCommerce and a lot of these other carts have this available to you. They make this insanely easy. So sometimes setting your ecom data in for GA4 is now just like checking a freaking box, which is thank you. It used to be really, really complicated. I remember we used to have a whole course on GA4 e-commerce. Now it's like a one lesson, like, hey guys, it's so much easier. So if you have questions about that, just let us know if you're struggling with that piece. It did used to be really complicated. Now it's not for that. So that's a little side note for you. But let's go over to Meta. Actually, after we refresh our brain on, so purchase for GA4 is a little p purchase. For Meta, we're going to come down here and see it's a capital purchase. This is another thing where you're accidentally customizing something. So maybe you're using Meta and you're sending it through with a little p purchase. It's going to flag it and say, hey, I don't recognize you. You're customizing it on accident and messing up your algorithm. Or maybe you're doing it the opposite way. You send it to GA4 with a capital P purchase. Again, you're accidentally customizing it and causing the platforms not to recognize it. So you need to make sure that you know which platform is going to call it what. Add to cart is another very common one. Where did we go? Here we are. So add to cart for GA4, it's add underscore to underscore cart. Meta, let's scroll back up. It is add to cart. Notice no spaces with a little t for two. Then we go over to TikTok. It is add to cart this way. Hold on, let's bounce back to Meta. There's that one. Actually, sorry, here's Meta. I knew it was different from TikTok. Add to cart. That's the one. And then, so here with add to cart here. There we are. Is that the same? Let's jump back. So, yep, that one is the same. And so we can go through and see some of them are the same, some of them are different. And so you just have to be aware of that. Um, because we were, seeing that this was kind of a source of people just confusion. And we wanted to make it a little bit easier. So we actually reached out to our members and created a tool. And so we made it a fun little post of asking people really what they wanted. So we created something just kind of for us to test it out to see if people would want it. And as you can see, it got a great response. And yes, I do throw in some lyrics and movie quotes and stuff like that. That is actually how I talk. That is not AI. My family is known to break out into random Disney songs throughout the day if the quote comes up. So that is not AI doing that. That is me and the way I talk. So sorry in advance. But if you are back here in MeasureU, you can find this post and you can jump into the comments and see this exact document that I'm about to show you. Or I'm going to tell the team to drop this in there somewhere below or a link to it so you can get to it easy for free. It right now it is the ugly version. We're asking for feedback, and so you can go to the comments and see we're asking for feedback so we can get it to our design team to make it prettier. So right now it's in the ugly version, but like I said, you can come in and look at this too, make a copy of it for yourself, use it and give us feedback. So one of the feedback we did have was someone said, hey, we want X in here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And so this is the one where I knew add to cart was also different. So this is where the add to cart here is different. And then we come back over here. So we see our GA4, we see our Meta, we see the TikTok, we see the Pinterest. Snapchat is different. And so it's just every single platform has something slightly different, or just it's just crazy. Wish we could get them all the same one. But for purchase, look at this. So we have, I'll scroll this up. So purchase, little p, big P, and then all capitalized. And so you just have to be really careful so you don't accidentally customize something and then the platform's not going to recognize it. It's very, very important for you not to do it in GA4 because you're not going to get flagged with it until the data has already been going, and you have to go in there to say, why is this not working? So when you are going through and testing, and we talked about this in a previous video about kind of being able to see what's on the page and what's working and stuff like that. And we talked about different Chrome extensions. I want to come back over here. So obviously we're very familiar with these Pixel Helper Chrome, the Chrome extension for Meta, and there's TikTok and all these other different platforms. And we've mentioned this Tag Hound one to be able to see. And I mentioned that it can show you different errors. I don't want to refresh the page right now, but it can show you errors for different platforms like Meta and all these other things. However, it is really hard for it to show you an error on an event. Like if you send through a purchase with a capital P, it's going to treat it like a custom event. It's not going to flag it. You're not going to get a error on your Pixel helper saying this is wrong. It's not going to tell you that. So that's why it's really, really important to make sure that you send your data the way you're supposed to in GA4 because it's not going to flag it. You're going to find it very, very quickly, should find it quickly in all the other platforms because the Pixel helpers, the Chrome extensions, should flag it immediately for you, or you'll get those errors in the platform saying, hey, this isn't right. Most of the platforms will tell you that. TikTok has been kind of a little bit slower to that because of the delay, which I don't know if it still has that long delay. Let me know in the comments if it still has that like a day and a half delay where it's very long troubleshooting process. But GA4, again, it's not going to flag it for you. You're just going to have to go in and realize a couple days later your e-commerce data isn't populating correctly. And then thus that means possibly your Google Ads is also not going to be working correctly, and the algorithm is going to be kind of wonky and all of that stuff there too. So that's the reason why it's really important to make sure that you are labeling everything correctly and not accidentally customizing things. So, is customization killing your conversions? hopefully not anymore. So we'll see you on the next video.